Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 80sslashers.com YouTube channel. Um, well, as you can see in today's video, we will be uh, discussing the 1982 slasher film, the Slumber Party Massacre. Um, Before we get into this, I just want to say a quick thank you to the people who may be watching this and have subscribed to the channel. Since the last time I made my last video, I believe I had 3 total subscribers. And at the time of filming this, I believe I'm up to 20. So that's incredible. That's fantastic. So hopefully it just continues to grow. But yeah, that's fantastic. So for all those who may be watching and have subscribed, thank you so much. It's most appreciated, especially the ones who have left some comments below. It's fun to talk about these movies, so yeah, that's fantastic. So thanks for that, for sure. So yeah, Slumber Party Massacre. I'm super excited to talk about this film, 'cause it's one of my favorites. Um, for anybody who hasn't seen this film, just right off the bat, just find it, just check it out. If you're a fan of these type of films, uh, this is such a fun one. It's one of the better ones in the genre. It's just, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's really good. Um, yeah, the first thing I'll say is there's a couple, but this is the main and the best film that was slasher film that was produced by Roger Corman. If you're not familiar with Roger Corman and the films he made, he's known as the B movie king. I think he has over 400 films to his credit, which is just as a producer. Like, he's written and directed, he's done everything. But he's made movies since the 50s and he's still going today. It's crazy. Um, but if you know anything about Roger Corman, I think they said that what he wants in his films is boobs, blood, and butts. And this movie has all of that. Yeah, so like some of the stuff up until this point, the films that he had done before Slumber Party Massacre, were films like The Big Dollhouse, Caged Heat, uh, Death Race 2000, and the original Piranha film. And those films are fantastic, and they all have a similar, like, just a similar feel to them. They all have, if they don't all have the blood, the boobs, and the butts, they have at least one or two of them. It's just it's a prerequisite for his films. Um, so yeah, so when I guess this is his first venture into the slasher genre. And what's interesting is, um, this film was not only written but also directed by women, two separate women, and it's very interesting because this film has it's almost like a juxtaposition with the Roger Corman style of filmmaking, but with women in control of creating the content, and it's a very interesting balance because you know the uh, the women in this film are all portrayed for the most part as very strong women. Um, there's like a camaraderie of these women, and some are the weaker ones, but for the most part they're all very strong, determined women. Um, and that's obviously credited to the women who made the movie. It was their message, it was their story, and it's very well done. But it is a Roger Corman film, so it was mandated that you know there had to be some nudity shown. And this film, it's the way they handle the nudity. There's no other word to describe it other than gratuitous, and that's exactly what it is. It's the use of nudity for the sake of nudity, basically. Um, yeah, it's it's fantastic. Some of them you're just watching this and you see like um, well, as the credits are rolling, like we didn't even get to where, the end of the credits where it says produced by, written by, directed by. Not even at that point. Like halfway through the opening credits, one of the main actresses gets naked. And it's just there's no need for it. There's no point of it. It's just I feel like the director was just like he wants the nudity, so let's just get it out of the way, and she just gives it. That's what the audience wants. That's what they're gonna get. And then within another 3 or 4 minutes, there's a shower scene in this film, and it's just it's great. If you're into these movies and you enjoy, um, you know the gratuitous nudity that these films most often contained, you're gonna like this one. It's just done in a way that's it's almost like it's poking fun of it, poking fun of itself. Like it realizes what it's doing, but it's still doing it. It's great. It's fantastic. Um, so that's one thing that is just that this movie does really well. Um, Another thing that I really like about this film, um, is it's an early 80s slasher, like 82, which 81, 82 is like the peak for these films, and a lot of them were doing the same thing, same formula, very copycat, formulaic, which is great. That's what we love. That's why they kept doing them, because we kept watching them. But this one is different in that there's no mystery. Like literally, one of the first scenes in the film, it it shows the killer's name, and then a couple minutes later, it shows his face. There's no mystery as to why he's doing it or who's the killer, and no big reveal at the end. Not in this film. Like within the first 5 minutes, you know his name, you know his face, and you know his backstory. It's no spoiler. It's just this is what the film is, and for the remainder of the running time, it's just him going on a killing spree, and he just happens to target some high school students, at having a slumber party. So it's basically just pure entertainment. Just if you want to see nudity and you want to see people getting killed, um, that's what this whole movie is about, and it's really fun. Such a good job. Um, but the thing I really liked about this was there's a lot of good tension in this film. A lot of films use the jump scare, like the fake out, the jump scare, and this one does it a lot. Is it the killer? Is it not the killer? That kind of thing, and then boom, they pop something on you. Um, they do that a lot in this film. I find a lot of times it doesn't work. It's cheap. It's whatever. But this film, it works. Like not all of them, but most of the jump scares that they do in this film works fairly well. And I think it's because they just know how to use the tension really well. Like the way the film is seen, the music starts getting lower and then it gets louder and louder and louder, and then pop, like the pop, the scare. Um, yeah, they just do a really good job of this, and it keeps you off. They do it so often that you don't know if it's another fake out or if it's the killer actually gonna be doing something. So it's really good. They do a good job of that. Yeah. As for the kills in this film, um, they're not the most gory kills that I've seen, but near the end there is some pretty good gore near the end. It's kind of like they start and they kind of ramp it up until it gets to the climax of the film, which is great. I have no problem with that. But the thing that is is the weapon. It's a huge power power drill, and it's a nasty, nasty weapon. Um, and the killer, he does such a fantastic job. Like I said, you see his face. There's no mystery to what he's doing. He's just a homicidal maniac, just killing people, women. Not just women. There's women and men. But he's hunting women, and if men get in the way, But he uses this drill. It's just what a terrible way to go. And it's just in the way he holds it, the way he walks, it just everything about it. Just it's a mean spirited, nasty killer, and it's really good. So yeah, I love the power drill. It's fantastic. So yeah, so that's basically it. This film is just it has all the elements that make these, especially the early '80s slashers. It stands out really well. Um, it just in this the this feels like one of those really good early '80s films, like the ones that like the '80s films, like the Goonies and all that stuff. That has that it just has that '80s feel. This has that. A majority of the location for these in this film is just two houses side by side that go back and forth, and it's just a great atmosphere in these homes. It just feels like just that typical early '80s home feel. Like all the store products and just the carpeting, the things on the walls, the phones, just everything. It just feels good for me. It just has that really good nostalgia feel. Um, yeah, this it just feels good. So um, it's funny. This film, every time I watch this, um, it goes up. It skips something on my overall rankings. So yeah, I think this is, and I watched this and I bumped it up. Um, I actually bumped it over uh, Sleepaway Camp. So I love Sleepaway Camp, and it's a fantastic film. And it's been ahead of this for a long time, just one spot above this. And but I watched this recently, and I said, you know what? I watched them both recently, and I just like I enjoy this more. This is more fun. Sleepaway Camp is more probably iconic because of the ending and all that stuff that's going on, but this is just more fun. So yeah, this just bumped up ahead of Sleepaway Camp for me in my rankings. So yeah, and if you want to find this is the best version to get. I know some people prefer the the VHS, which is fantastic. Obviously, watching these movies on VHS is kind of the way to do it, to be honest. It just has that look, that feel, which is great. But if you're someone who is into the highest possible definition you can get, this is the version. It's Scream Factory has released this, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. There's a few print damage things, especially near the beginning in the opening credits. There's some film damage, but other than that, it just looks crystal clear, as if it was filmed within the last few years. Um, yeah, and the special features it has, like I said, new HD transfer, which is fantastic. This here, Sleepless Nights, the making of Slumber Party Massacre. It's about a 22 minute little documentary with some of the filmmakers, the director, a couple of the actors. Yeah, yeah, and they just a few behind the scenes, just like a basic making of documentary, but it's really good. And yeah, and like I said, there's some commentaries and trailers and stuff. So not a ton of special features, but that documentary is really good. Um, so yeah, there's no reversible art. There's this weird, I don't know what this is. Um, has some scenes from just some scenes from the film, and I don't know what this is. This looks like it's another film by the director. Girl Party Killing. Don't know what it is, but it looks. Oh, maybe that's a different title. Yeah, because I don't know if that's these actresses. I don't know. These actresses aren't in this film, but They are. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, no alternative artwork, so I know some people like that. And for what I've seen, there was no slipcover that ever came with this. There may have been when it first got released. Usually Scream Factory does do the slipcovers, but not for this one. So yeah, so that's it. Slumber Party Massacre. If you've never seen it, I implore you to go out and find this VHS. Maybe it's on a streaming. Get it however you can get it. If you like these movies and you've never seen this film, you have to check it out. It's super fun. It's just a really really good one. And if you have it and you've seen it, but it's been a while, sit down, turn off the lights, and watch it again. Because every time I watch it, it just puts a big smile on my face, and it just seems to get better and better with each rewatch. So, yeah, so that's it. Slumber Party Massacre. So again, I just want to thank everyone for sticking around, watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, leaving comments. All that stuff is greatly appreciated. It really helps out. Um, so yeah, until the next video. All right, see you later.